Halloween season's here. Most of you probably noticed this. It's been Halloween season for weeks already. Recently, Saturday Night Live poked a little fun at all the Spirit Halloween stores popping up.
They are everywhere right now, huh?
They are everywhere. And as soon as November hits, boom, they're gone.
They're gone. So here to talk about the economic impact of Halloween and some other hot topics are Beth Perot-Jarvis and Mary Van Note from Ginger Consulting. Welcome back, ladies.
Hey,
nice to have you
guys.
with us. Let's talk a little bit about Halloween. I feel like the second the kids are back in school, the second 4th of July is over, boom, it's Halloween season.
Yeah, you're not wrong. If you think it starts earlier, it does. And it's because it's such a popular holiday. 75% of Americans celebrate Halloween, so it's literally one of our most popular holidays, one of our most popular seasons, and it has turned into a $12 billion business, which is massive. It's second only to Christmas in terms of retail sales. It's tied with back to school. This year, you know, the average household will spend over $50 on candy alone, but we're buying costumes, we're buying things for our pets. It's just massive and huge and a lot of fun for everyone to get in on. But what's kind of fun is to look at how differently different groups buy. So if you're a little bit of an older consumer, 40 and up, you're probably into chocolate, you're buying your candy, you know, at a retail physical location, you're overbuying. So people like me have a lot in the freezer left over when it's all said and
hide
done.
it at different places around the house.
Right.
Hope you forget about it.
Exactly, yeah. Where if you're a younger consumer, under 40 years old, you're buying all the sour stuff, the fruity stuff, that chewy stuff. That's the kind of candy that you like. You're buying probably online and not in the physical store. And these are also the people that are buying all the fun pet costumes. The younger consumer loves dressing up their cat.
Well, yeah, you have got to put that picture on Instagram. Otherwise, does anyone know? Mary, so let's talk about not the pet costumes, but the costumes for the adults, quote unquote. So you've got some of them. We showed the list a little bit earlier, and popularity of 2 movies, which kind of leads the list here.
Well, of course, Beetlejuice is big, right? And I'm not going to say that 3 times because he'll show up.
Don't.
But you can have that costume. Then also a movie from the summer, a Marvel movie, you know, with Deadpool and Wolverine. So that's a big costume, particularly for the guys. Women, there's a lot of interest in the Dallas Cowboy cheerleader costume because
they're Netflix.
The Netflix show, America's
I was going to
Sweethearts.
say, why is that?
And it's not just cheerleading, but Dallas cheerleading, which is another level.
That makes sense.
And then, you know, it's hard to get a sort of a couple costume. And this year we have a really good one. So we have Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. And it's so good because the woman can dress up in about 80 different outfits from the Eras tour and just get bedazzled and have a great time. And the guy can just put on Kansas City jersey, maybe some eye black, and he's ready to go.
Ready to go.
It's perfect. Yeah.
Also, I feel like decor is like gone crazy too. We were just talking about, I mean, inside decor, but I always notice the outside stuff and the inflatables. Every year I have a neighbor who gets a new one, and he must have a dozen on his yard right now. And that's a huge part of this as far as adults and spending go as well, I would imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, home decor is up 30% this year, and when we say it's huge, it's actually huge because driven by social media, there are all these big ones, like you said. So Skelly, I saw Skelly on the way over here, is a 12-foot high skeleton from Home Depot that people have in their yards. And Skelly is so popular that Skelly has a dog now, so you can get a dog skeleton that's 7 feet high for your yard. And then if you happen to go to Target, you can get...
Where do you put Skelly in that? That's all I keep thinking about.
Right?
Where does Skelly live?
Maybe next to the Christmas tree. Maybe,
right.
In the rafters in the garage?
Yeah, you need to have like a lot of storage space from Skelly, but it's worth it, right? So you have Lewis, the pumpkin ghoul from Target, and so if you want to shell out $180 for Lewis, you can get an 8-foot high ghoul with a pumpkin head and the lights and the sound. You can also get a little Lego for a little bit of money. But Lewis is so popular that Target has a series called Lewis Lore, and it's on Instagram and TikTok, and there's been 4 million views.
Wow.
And people create their own content now about Lewis because they love him.
What about the Starbucks and some of these other, they're selling like Halloween-themed cups too?
Yeah, so Starbucks has their cups. You know how they have their Christmas cups? They have now their Halloween cups, which you can see, and that's new. And then you can get what we call tabletop and houseware stuff for Halloween everywhere, you know, from Williams-Sonoma to Home Goods to Target, and it's not just the candy bowl. You know, it's like a whole suite of dishes and cocktails, and you can get throws and pillows and even bed sheets. So it's kind of like holiday decor, but now it's Halloween.
And it's not even like use one-time stuff. It's like elevated decor.
It's very nice. You pack it away and then you put it out.
Kinda like
for your
Christmas dishes.
Yes, exactly. It's just like Christmas, except now we do it for Halloween.
Beth, let's talk about the social media aspect of all of this. My daughter is going as a Stanley Cup this year. Costume that she saw on social media, so she and her bestie will be the cups going around. I know that social media has such a huge part in like this holiday in particular for people.
Well, this holiday in really everything we buy. It's been one of the biggest shifts in retail sales is where they're coming from and how we get marketed to. So like your daughter seeing something she saw online, she was probably following someone who to her feels like a friend. We call these influencers. So we all follow them. They might be cooking, they might be style, they might be fashion, they might be sports, it could be anything, but we follow these influencers and then they make recommendations, you know, and we decide to buy something based on something that they tell us about or show us or that they have in their own life or home. And I'm telling you, it's big business. This is now $250 billion worth of our retail sales are flowing through content creators and influencers. That's a shift from just traditional advertising where we used to have, you know, hire Jennifer Aniston. Now it's just some ordinary person that grows into an influencer and they amass a huge business. One of the guys that shows up on the list all the time, you may have heard of, his name is Mr. Beast. And he just started out playing games on YouTube when he was a teenager. But he was fun and he was engaging. And so he now has almost as many followers as there are Americans, over 300 million followers. And what has that turned into? It's turned into about $500 million a year in his pocket with endorsement deals and sponsorships and appearances and recommendations. So it's huge business and only expected to grow bigger. They're thinking within the next 2 to 3 years, it should be up to about $500 billion in retail sales flowing through these influencers. But I would say don't quit your day job because, you know,
not very many people make it to
most
that
don't
level.
make that much,
So,
right?
a couple of these specific categories of influencers. Finfluencer, which is a financial influencer, and furfluencer, which is hard to say, but that's someone who's talking about pets.
Right.
These are niche categories.
They're niche categories, but it's sort of the sign of when a market matures, it starts to segment. So now you've got these influencers that are in specific categories. So in the case of finance, you know, I think the why behind it is what's most interesting. If you're a younger consumer, you trust these people. You know, you follow them, you watch their videos, you engage with their content. They are your friends.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you trust what they endorse versus what a brand might just endorse or what a celebrity might even endorse. And you go with what they have to say. And in the case of finance, finfluencers, you know, they say 75% of the time, if you're following someone that you trust, you will engage with the companies that they recommend. And in the furfluencer category, which is just a fun, maybe more lighthearted one, these are the people that, you know, I watch the cat videos. I don't know if you guys do, but they're so good. And they, you know, will start to talk about products too, even to the point where Target now has a whole collection called the Cuddle Collab, I think it is, where they found 6 of these furfluencers from TikTok.
We mean the dogs.
Yeah.
And they've created a product line that they are selling at Target. You know, you could match your cat or dog if you wanted. So pretty cool.
Well, guys, good stuff. Thanks for stopping by. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
You can head to MinnesotaLive.com for a link to get more retail news from Ginger Consulting.